Hello again. My name is Father Alex Steinmiller. I'm part of the St. Paul the Cross Retreat House team, which, by the way, I believe has 2 more weekends available. One for men, I know. So just know that the season is coming to an end. And if you have someone in mind who really needs space and time to get away, this is an answer. So consider it, whether you're male or female. There are still 2 retreats left this season. This weekend, we're celebrating Christ, the Good Shepherd. And it's a wonderful image, especially for this time. You and I, in our own ways, are called to imitate Christ, to live like he does, to speak like he does, to have the same kind of motivation as he does. And when you look at the Good Shepherd, there's a great example that we need to look at in 2 ways. And I can only deal with one of them today, but I will treat the other later. The one I'm going to wait on is being a good shepherd means being a responsible member of the community of the parish. How many people come to receive and not to give, to take and not to share, to consume and not produce? That is why our parishes so often are so dull and so lifeless and not attractive. So without going into details, I just stress to each of you, you are good shepherds to others in the flock. The second way that I do want to talk about is something you've heard me talk about quite a bit lately, and that is the challenge to invite someone back to the table of the Lord and to invite someone to encounter Christ in reconciliation. Notice I didn't use the word Mass or I didn't use the word confession. Why? Because so often those 2 images represent obligation, punishment if you don't do it. That's a heck of a way to invite someone back to the table of the Lord or to healing, the healing encounter with Christ. So I suggest, first of all, when you approach someone, and I'm assuming you're trusting your senses. That's where the Spirit works. And you are asking the question, have you ever considered coming back and joining me at the table of the Lord? Or have you considered returning to that reconciliation moment with Christ? So these are questions that are very personal and questions that are very, very important. Just think if a person would go through their life and nobody ever asked them these questions and they never pursued it. What a tragedy. So when we talk about being other good shepherds, we're talking about trusting our hearts. You know, we trust the heart of a mother. We trust the heart of a parent. Do we trust our hearts as fellow members of the body of Christ? I believe, in all frankness, that our church is in crisis. And the crisis is we cannot depend upon priests, pastors, bishops, cardinals to take on the responsibility of bringing people back to church. Yes, some will come back because they feel the obligation. But most people, obligation means very little. There's got to be another way to do this. And that's what I'm challenging you to look at. Look at your own heart and trust that the Good Shepherd is actually working in, with, and through your heart. In, with, and through your heart. Because that's baptism, is we become in, with, and through Christ. That's the body. So as we celebrate this feast day of Christ, the Good Shepherd, let's examine ourselves. First of all, have I returned to the community of faith? Have I returned to reconciliation? Secondly, what am I finding when I return to the church? Am I finding people who are open to each other? Yes, we still have pandemic rules, which means that hugging and the sign of peace is so distant. But we can still, our words are not distant. Our hearts are not distant. We can still communicate powerfully by reaching out to others and letting them know how much they're loved by God in this community. So let's just be very conscious of the next time you feel it in your heart to say something to someone. Faith sometimes is one major risk. And one of those risks may be asking the question. But remember, when you show up, Christ is already there. He's already there. And don't worry about what you're going to say. The words will come to you. That's our faith. And that's that great relationship we have with the Good Shepherd. I'll pray for your outreach, and please pray for mine. Thank you.